Hey guys, it's the Disconnect here. Just played a game recently of Zilean Top against the rank 1 top laner in the US. That is Babus, of course. He's playing Gragas. And I just thought this was a pretty cool game to show. So we're now in Challenger, which is pretty awesome. We're playing Zilean Top mostly. I'm queuing it right now. And let's see how the matchup goes. So right now, obviously, I'm just going to be protecting the top side of the map. It's pretty normal. They've got pretty scary CC. They have Pyke, they have Senna, so I do need to be careful. So I'm doing it in a way in which I can see perfectly here, and I can see perfectly here. No one can get me. The only scare is if they come from down here, but then I can run up into here. It should be okay. Realistically, we're totally fine, and I can see some guys here as well. For this lane phase, we're against Gragas. He's level 1's really not scary at all, which is awesome for Zilean. Some champions, you lose the lane automatically because you can't lane level 1. Let's say versus Urgot, which is currently my ban right now. You can't actually lane versus Urgot level 1. It doesn't work. He'll just kill you before you enter the lane. He'll stand right here, and you can never do anything. You cannot approach. He'll zone you off the first 3 minions. Versus Gragas, though, really nice matchup. I actually think it's super nice for Zilean. You should be happy when you play against it. He can't interact with your champion very easily, and we'll see how that looks. So I don't need to leash. I don't ward level 1. I don't feel the need to. My jungler never asked. One thing to note as well in this game is I got my champion picked. So I was last pick, but I told my first pick, support, to pick Zilean for me so he could get a last pick. So he managed to get able to pick Alistar against Pyke, which was super good. You should always try and do that. Because Zilean's a great blind pick top. Most of the time people don't even know you're going to be playing top. And also, while there are good picks into Zilean, there's too many good picks that, I mean, you're just going to have to eat the bad matchups. So level 1 right here, I'm not really doing anything. I'm just trying to go for Qs when I can. That was not a great trade by me, but it's okay. I don't want to push too hard, but I want to keep the wave even. I don't want to be able to get dived. But I don't want him to get a level lead on me. So I'm playing it quite respectfully. As you can see, I'm just farming. Fortunately missing a minion. So he's level 2. All we need to do is respect his E, and that's all. This whole matchup's just around his E. Playing with minions, playing with my E, so he's walking towards us. We see he's going to try and create this line to E us, but we don't give him it because by backing off. And now we're behind minions, we can go in for auto trades, and he can't really do anything. His Q costs too much mana that he can't afford to spam Q on us all lane. Once again, we don't path away when he paths up, so he can't E us. He gets the Q on us, but that's okay. We get a nice Q trade, we get the Airy, we get our mana flow band, it's really nice. We're level 3, this is a really nice power spike for Zilean in the early lane. If we get to level 3 and the lane's looking good, honestly that's most lanes totally fine. Most of the time as Zilean top, you lose lane before level 3 and that's where it snowballs out of control. The damage we can deal, imagine if this landed the double bomb on him, he's basically dead. He can't afford to E on us right now. If he E's on us right now, he'll take all this minion aggro. He actually doesn't have a play here. I'm going to get free auto attacks on him, and I know this. And like I said, he can E me, but it's not worth. He's trying to ding level 3 on the creeps. He's really close, one more minion. And then he gets his W. We see he's level 3 now, and now we respect it. We're playing around the minions. So I E myself preemptively here, thinking that he might walk out and E me, but if I have my E on, there's no outplay. He can never hit me with a Z, and if he E's and misses, then he gets autoed down the lane. As we can see, hiding behind the minions, he paths out. Well, now he can no longer E me, because he's not close enough to walk past the minions, and he's not, and the minions are blocking his Z, so I get my free auto attacks on him. Super nice. I'm waiting my abilities. I'm not doing anything right now. I see Elise coming, and I think, wow, we're in a really nice spot to actually dive this guy. Huge damage we dealt here. And this is just using our E really well. Gragas does not have a good way to dodge our E. I don't want him to all-in us here. I path back. Really unfortunate miss by Elise. It was good predict. He goes for the kill. Elise needs me to tank the tower, so I should tank one shot here. Unfortunately, I tanked too much and I die. I didn't think that this would happen. Obviously, this is a terrible play, but you know, it happens. What I love about when I show my VODs here is I'm not one of these people who shows the games where I go like 900-0 against someone who's, you know, inting. There's no point in that. I make tons of mistakes in these VODs, and it just shows how even in a challenger game versus a really good player, you can make these kind of mistakes, and it's not the end of the world, it's fine. Because you're going to be making mistakes in your games as well. So it's fine. I walk back, I don't TP because the lane's fine. When a lane's like this, it means it's slow pushing back into you. So you can actually leave the lane and not TP. TPing here would be really grief. And this is what I've talked about in previous games, is we have TP, he doesn't. Awesome. That's exactly where we want to be as Zilean. Alright, now there's not too much to think about. We have Graves to think about because we don't really know where he is. As we can see, he can reset to Krugs or he can reset to Gromp. We actually don't have information on where he will go. So we have to think right now to have that in the back of our mind of where is Graves and not put ourselves in any danger. So right now I just see Gragas wastes his E, so I go in for auto attacks. When Gragas E's down, he can't do anything. His champion doesn't function versus us. So I go for auto attack after auto attack, ramping up the damage with Corrupting Pot and Aerie. It's really nice. Already procced Aerie 13 times in this lane. Pretty crazy. So he tries to go for an E on us, but of course we're hiding behind minions so it can't hit us. It does AoE off the minions, but if he slams too close. And as you can see, we're understanding the fact that he doesn't have cooldowns. We can go up and auto-attack him. On repeat, keep autoing. And now he's actually low enough that he's in danger of if he overstays here and we E him, he can die. And he's super low, and we have TP. And I have this nice ward here where I can see him recalling. So of course, I identify that I need the cannon, so I get that first. I Q him. A lot of people, when you stop their back and the wave resets, they're going to stay. Because they feel too bad for leaving, they're going to lose too many minions, so I get the free push into his tower. If he managed to get the recall off there, he could have recalled for free and ran back before the wave pushes in. But right now, he's kind of forced to stay. He has no TP. He's in a really rough spot. Even though he's low mana and half health, as Zilean, you always lose trades. You should try and not trade. So we don't trade. I back off. He uses his W. You just wait the W out. There's no problem. He's trying to force a trade so that he can get me low enough that it's actually close. Right now, if we play it like this, there's nothing he can do. I play for poke. So once again, he uses his W. I tried to get the double ball and the minion on him there. That would have been really nice. I E him just for mana full bend. Because we have a ton of mana to play with. So we're perfectly in a good spot. We still have a biscuit too. So I'm very, very concerned about Graves. Until we see him down here. So we only saw him like very recently. And I'm just playing out of range of that. Right now, there is some amount of threat of him pathing towards us. And fighting. And so I'm just going to play down here. I don't want him to be able to engage on us. While he's low in mana, note that he has 2 biscuits. So he actually isn't really very low in mana. And the only way I lose this lane is if I die here randomly before I get 6. So I'm just going to wait my 6 before I make any moves. So you see how he dings 6? As Zilean, we can always play towards down into the river. He walks towards us, we walk away. It's really that simple. So right now he's zoning us off gold. Note that it's always zoning off gold. You should never be getting zoned off XP. While I don't get the minion because he's zoning, it's okay. We're down a bit of XP, down a bit of minions just because of how the wave was, and he's used TP. But that's fine. As Zilean, we're usually going to be down minions. In most matchups, it's really difficult to not be. But we're not down XP, as we can see. We're down a little bit, but he has more minions, so... And Elise shared some creeps earlier. And we died as well. And that's solo XP for him. So even with those mistakes, it's okay. And we can see the wave slow pushing towards us. He has no TP. This is what we were building up to. So since we didn't shove in, we didn't go for too much poke. He's actually in a rough spot. Because now the wave's going to push in too much. And we have TP, so we can hold a freeze. We can afford to back. And all these different things. And as you can see, even though I'm quite confident in the matchup, I'm always respecting the fact that he can just E me. That's how we lose. If he E's me, the fight's already lost. He does too much damage and he'll just phase rush out. We can never hit him with bombs. So I'm only going for sure things. And right now, we E him. It means a free double bomb. Awesome. And we're just waiting for him to make these mistakes. We play with these minions, he can't E us. And we get the free E. And he's even CSing the minions for us. And now he's really low. And we have low mana, but we still have maybe a corrupting pot, I think. And if not, it's okay. Because we have TP. He's trying to back. He's quite low. I'm going to go for the freeze. We have ult, so he can't actually get us. There's nothing he can do here. So he's prepping his barrel. This is where you can die versus Gragas. See, R's me into the barrel and flash E's me or something. See how he walked up to see if he could R me. But I saw that coming, so I double on the minion, of course. I'm too low in mana to stay, so I take my recall. What's going to happen here is I'm going to recall before he can shove this in. And this is what I talked about in the last video as well. I'm only recalling here because I know I can TP to this minion. Boom. Awesome. And this is a horrible situation for him. Either he has to concede that he's going to get perma-froze out, or he needs to stay and fight me. But he can't stay and fight me, he's 2 He still has 2 biscuits, right? But that's not enough. Because we have R. So he goes for fighting me that he doesn't want. I have corrupting pots, I have R. This amount of low HP is okay. So I take the R because I know I can die to minions. And I reset my health. So basically I'm just using my R as almost like a TP. We basically just TP back to base. 700 health. Boom, we're back in it. And he's got no health. He goes for a desperation play. The wave's freezing. He knows I'm going to freeze it. He has to do something. Graves was coming to help, but the problem is Jotun was also coming. So Graves comes, it creates a 2v2, Gragas is too low. I have flash, there's nothing that they can do here. And he's too low, and he dies. And he had nothing there. He had no way to win this. He just took a fight he can't win. Right now, since the waves are resetting, and I'm too low to stay, you might think that you want to freeze this kind of wave, but I'm too low, I can't stay. I don't have TP. I need to reset the wave. So what I do is I just make sure to drag all the minions together, and I go for a double bomb. And this is where you double bomb yourself. I'm very conscious that Graves is around and could ult me. So I was thinking about dodging. I was thinking about if I see something Graves here, I'm ready to dodge. So while I'm recalling here, I might be like, look, I'm tabbed out or something. My eyes are right here. I'm waiting for Graves to show, so I immediately E and dodge. Unfortunately, my guy's dying mid. This game started off really rough for us. Graves is fed. Caston's winning mid. 0-2 Yone. It's not ideal. And bot lane's just doing okay. They're even. Note that the reason we left the lane like this is because it's reset. It means we both lose. Both losing is perfectly fine. The other option is that it slow pushes back to them, and we don't want that. Because then he can freeze here, and Graves is going to get some stuff going. So right now, we're in such a nice playable state as Zilean. We're down a little bit of CS, which is not ideal. This is possibly my biggest weakness, is just trying to get CS in these kind of early lane stages. It's quite difficult. Like, just missing that cannon there. Zilean has no tools. He has no tools to be able to get that. I'd have to double bomb it, but that means I can't poke. So you have to make the decision between CS and poking. That is the worst part of Zilean in lanes, is just being able to get farm. And a massive respect to someone who can consistently get CS. Note how I'm constantly playing around my E. It means it's really difficult for him to make quick decisions. If he's constantly E'd, he can't surprise me. Because if he turns around to E me, then I'll see him turn around and I'll just walk away. He Qs here. I saw him Q here. He has no lethal in me. I have R, so I can just fight him. If he E's me right now, he's going to eat a full double bomb to the face. Because he can never get away. That's the thing to think about, is a lot of trades from Zilean are quite front-loaded in the enemy's favor. Like, he's going to W me, he's going to E me, and he's going to auto-attack me, right? I've lost the trade so far, but now he has no abilities up, and he's going to take the full brunt of the rebound here. I E him, and he's going to get autoed down the lane to death. He tried to get me with the Q, with the R, and of course I know this is going to happen, so I R early. And he kills me. It's like I've TP'd again. He's got no health, and I'm back to full health. There's not really any outplay to this. He has to have 100 to 0 me before I can R, or it's like I've reset. And he's not really allowed to stay anymore. So I flash forward. He just showed me that he... This looks really weird in the replay. That's bizarre. Let's have a look at this again in slower more. So he just E's the creeps, because he wants to push this minion into the barrel so he can shove me in. He just showed me his E. He has no R. He's dead. So all I do is I land my first bomb, and I just go for the flash E. And I Q him, and he has to flash this. There's no outplay to this. He has to flash. Awesome trade. Him having no flash versus me having no flash. Zilean with flash doesn't really do too much with flash. It's not a big deal. Him with no flash means his roams are worse. He's more gankable. All these different things. Should be totally happy with that. Possible I could have gotten his flash without flashing there if I'd just gone for the double bomb. Maybe it's somewhat of an insecure play. Here's a great moment as well. So, as we can see, he TP's here, right? The reason he's TPing is because I need to back, and he's stronger than me, and he'll force me out of lane, and I don't have TP. So he's going to be up XP in the 1v1 here. But it means his TP's down, he can't impact the map. And as I always say, Zilean, you're not playing for yourself, you're playing for your team. I don't want to sit up in top lane and just decay away. That's not... I get outscaled, but every champion outscales Zilean top, pretty much. You don't want to sit in lane. So I recall, and I don't have TP, and I let him freeze. He goes for the freeze, which of course he should. I lose a whole wave, but that's okay. I've removed Gragas' TP from the equation. My bot laners no longer need to worry about Gragas' TP. And sometimes top laner's TP, that just ends the game right there. Big fight around Dragon, let's say. Gragas TP's in, gets a triple kill, game's over. It's not what we need. And he goes for the freeze here, but I know I'm strong enough. I'm just waiting my R out. He doesn't win these things. Awesome play here. He goes for the E forward. I managed to dodge it because I E him and I walk away. And now he's E'd and he takes the full brunt of the return. Weirdly, my bombs went on the minion. That sometimes happens, but if you just E them, they can never escape. As long as it's a melee minion. You see the trade back he got. I basically lost, what, no health because I have Corrupting Pot? He lost all his health. He lost like 1,000 HP there in that trade. Corrupting Pot allows you to sustain off these plays. Let's say we had a Doran's Ring instead. We would have lost like 500 HP and we just have to sit with that. Right now we have so much sustain in this item. Unfortunate we don't get the kill here, but as you can see, he's out the lane. And this is the kind of thing, right? You'd think we're quite even. He's bought an MR item. He's like on par with levels. He can't lane. This matchup's not really playable for Gragas. Like, what was he supposed to do here? There's minions in the way. He goes for an E. If he makes one misplay like this against Zilean, it's over. He can never recover. Now he's too low that if he all-ins, he'll die. He can't kill me through my R. There's no way. His burst is not high enough. And he has no way to deal with me E-ing him. So I just press E on him and that's that. He's trying to push the wave in again. He wastes his E. This is really unfortunate we don't get the kill here. I should have played further up, like up here. That would have been 100% kill. There's no way you could have R'd me away properly. It's really unfortunate we don't get the kill. Graves from below, but I see him on my control ward and I just path out. I give him tons of respect. No need to get flashed and die. He can run me down after IR. Gragas stays. And now, yeah, it's kind of sucks that Gragas is here, but Graves has to be top, and it means my jungler can be somewhere else. Maybe farming the bot side, or helping mid, or whatever, right? Don't worry if you get ganked a lot of Zilean top. Honestly, it's a good thing sometimes. It means the pressure's somewhere else. Zilean's really good at absorbing pressure. So I see there's something going on, so I immediately path for it. I can see my characters are coming in. I'm quite low. This isn't free anymore. Gragas sustains a lot with his passive in lane. Meaning that, you know, if I just let him sit in lane for a bit while I'm zoned off by the possibility of Graves out of vision, which I'm respecting, you know. But I see that... I assume Gragas is probably in here somewhere. I don't really want to die. If I walk in here, I'm just going to die. He'll just kill me in CC. But I have my R and I'm very ready. So I see Gragas here. Of course, good job by my teammates. Nice free kill there. And this is all because we forced him to stay again. We're holding here to make sure that when the wave goes in, we're there to freeze it. And the only way to counter us freezing it is him coming in and fighting us. And if he comes in and fights us, our teammates are here. So while we can't fight him 1v1, we get him. I knew I would live here. I remember this. Yeah, we take the tower hit, but it's okay. I have R as well. And also, if I die, execute. It's not a big deal. Really good job to my team here. They got a nice kill on Graves. I believe, anyway. Yeah, they do. Good job. But of course, Caston's very fed, so this game is by no means over. So this is one of these games with the mid lane's very even. Arion's winning pretty hard now, but Caston was winning. Graves is winning over Elise. Bot lane's winning to us now. It's the kind of game that if we were behind and Gragas TP'd in mid or bot at some point, this game could have looked horrible. If Gragas got a good play on the map here, game's over, I think. Because it's so fragile, such a fragile state. But the way we played the lane, we managed to get both. This is me trying to level Yone. Zilean passive is just a horrible ability. I love the ability in like terms of what it does. But the actual trying to use his passive is impossible. It's so buggy. Like, I was trying to level that guy for ages and it just wasn't letting me. For no reason. It wasn't on cooldown or anything, it just wasn't letting me use it. Right now, it was slow pushing towards us, and we could freeze, but right now, it's late enough in the game, we don't want to sit and freeze on Zilean. Let's get the wave in, and then start roaming ourselves if we can. So this is the kind of game where we've not really done too much on the map, and the other games would be TPing around, would be roaming a lot. As long as we're keeping the Gragas from roaming, that's fine. Turn the map into a 4v4, and our team are doing good. If our team are doing good, then we don't need to roam. If our team are doing a little bit worse, I might feel a little bit more pressure. I might clear this kind of wave, and instead of fighting him here, I'd path out down here into mid and protect this tower, or something like that. But I don't need to protect this tower because my Yon's doing good enough on his own. But it's a good thing to think about in your games. When you reset and clear the waves like this on Zilean, we have 3 points in our E. We just E down to mid, quickly take the wave, protect this tower, E back top. Maybe we miss 1 or 2 minions to the tower, but it's going to be worth it. Right now, though, we don't need to do that, but it's definitely worth thinking about. Once again, we just go for this E. E the Gragas. What's he going to do? He E's us? Sure. I mean, there's no point in this play. We make a little bit of a misplay there, but by missing our bombs. But, I mean, he almost R'd us out of tilt there. He was like, maybe I can kill him, and then it's like, well, there's no way. We have our R. There's no chance. I thought he might have flashback. I wasn't entirely sure. I'm right. He nearly did have flashback. Awesome. And we E him. And there's no way for him to avoid that. Even if he E's the minion, it doesn't work. You'd have to E it last second. So, of course, you should always ping your team to say what the enemies have. No R, no R, no R. It's really important to do that. A lot of players don't do that. Yon, if Gragas doesn't have R, Yon might play it differently. Yon doesn't need to worry about R, so he just goes full on in. Really well played by Yon. Gets 2 stacks of his Q and goes down here knowing that Gragas is going to try and blast going out. Very well played. Awesome. And as we can see again, we got Gragas low enough, we got his cooldowns, and our team just come clean it up. And Gragas is 1-4, and he's been feeding our team. We're 1-1-3. We're not taking the kills. We're just benefiting our team from this kind of play. We should be super happy with that. So while we're even on gold with Gragas, but our team have been benefiting, so that's awesome. And if we didn't die once here, complete int for no reason, he would be 0-4-0, and we'd be 1-0-3. And right now, our win condition is Yon. Perfect stance for Zilean. We have a winning bot lane. This game looks pretty over, and it's going to transpire into an awesome win for us. And the reason is just because this lane worked out really well. There's not too much to think about from here. This is the kind of game where all you need to think about is let's play with Yon. We push out the waves top, and we start roaming into mid. I'm going to pause it here. We're at like 15 minutes. And from here, it's just going to be a slow but steady stomp to victory. Game takes about 15 more minutes of us throwing back and forth, but realistically, we've won. We outscale them. We're in a great spot. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any ideas for anything else you'd like to see, feel free to put in the comments. And honestly, any questions or anything, you can add me in League. You can message me on YouTube or on Reddit or whatever. I'll usually respond. I love making these kind of videos. I recently got my mic back. It was broken for like a week or something. That's why I don't be uploading anything. But I hope to upload more stuff because I love Zilean, of course. And I'm really enjoying Zilean top and Zilean mid. Yeah. It's good, guys. Zilean top is playable. Just make sure to ban stuff that you can't play against. Stuff to ban. I'm just going to quickly go over it because I think it's pretty important. Ban Urgot. Oh my lord. That's not playable. Ban Renekton. Ban Fiora. They're your bans. Most other stuff's either playable or fine. That's the stuff that's not really playable at all, and you'll just automatically lose, and there's no outplay potential whatsoever. Yeah. The good lanes you want to play in. Tanks, good. Clunky stuff like Mundo, good. Stuff like Gragas is pretty awesome. And stuff you can kind of outscale, like Aatrox, things like that are pretty good. He can't really kill you in lane, and you just sort of free scale and then outperform him in mid-game. Surprisingly, stuff like Camille's actually pretty good. In lane, it's pretty horrible. As long as you don't die level 2, you're in a good spot. The reason being is she lacks the all-in potential. It's kind of like Gragas. She E's on you, right? And she'll win the initial trade. But then you E her, double bomb her, and she can no longer play the game. And it's bizarre that a matchup like Camille can be played like that. The problem with Renekton, right, is he E's in and just one-shots you. You're just dead. There's no outplay. You can never kill him. He has too much healing. Like Tryndamere is unplayable for the same reason. He has too much healing. Any champion with healing in their kit, you've lost. Unless it's something like Gragas, of course, where it's not really enough healing to matter, right? But yeah, cool game. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you guys next time.